course. That's how I roll. Alrighty. Pull these aside. All right. So now let's grab our project sheet and put it. Too many things sitting here. I've got stacks. All right. Okay, so here we go. Layout number 2. This one's, or layout number 3. And here it is. Okay. So this one is a super fun layout, and we're going to use the resist chipboard that came in the October kit. And if you haven't tried this before, you're gonna love it. You can use it just as it is. It's white, but it has this finish, this pattern that is applied with a finish that is really glossy. So when you put like a water-based ink, like a dye-based ink or watercolors or mist or what have you over the top of it, it's going to repel the pigment, and that area is going to stay white. So you'll be able to see the pattern on them as you apply the pigment. So what we need to do is we need to start with, let's see here, where did this page go? So we need to cut some more frames, but these frames are easy, most of them anyway. Actually, I think I used all the easy ones. All right, so let's start by cutting out our frames. This is the thankfulness paper. And it's hard because it's got this really cute pink floral on the back. But if you get your pattern paper out-on kit, you get 2 sheets of each pattern, so you don't have to choose which side you want to use because you have 2 of each. Okay, and I'm leaving like a little tiny white border around these just because that's how I do it. And you could do this with a paper trimmer too if you wanted to, but it takes all right, this one. If you've already cut your frames out and you're using photos as you create your page, you can go ahead and apply your add your photos behind your frames. And you might want to do the same thing that we did with the frames the last time. If you want some dimension, you can add the foam behind your frame. And then it will create a little bit of shadow. I always like the way that that looks. 9 times out of 10, I always have something dimensional behind my photo. I think it just draws your eye toward it. Okay, so there's 3. This little guy. It's hard to talk while you do this. I can't speak or can't cut. It's funny, when my kids were in preschool and they were learning how to cut. I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but every time they would cut, they would open and close their mouths when they first started using scissors. I don't know what it was, but each one of them did it. Oh my gosh, my cat will not leave me alone. Out. Okay. I'm going to trim this just a little bit closer. Let's see. Okay. And because this is an oval and I can't cut it with a straight X-Acto knife, this is how I go about it. It's not pretty, but it works. Did you just steal something? All right, almost done. Okay, there's that one, and one more. Okay. This one. Tates, get out of here. She steals stuff. She likes to chew on paper and she'll take off with it. So sometimes I'll find, she's not the one that bit the cat though. Hey. Okay, so this guy I'm going to use my fine tip scissors to go around this little edge. So there's that guy, and we're going to cut the center out of him just the same way. By cutting this in like weird random, it kind of breaks up some of the paper so you can actually get your scissors around. All right. And oftentimes, I don't know about you, I move my paper when I am fussy cutting more than moving my scissors. Wonder if I'm the only one that does that. There we go. Okay, so there's that one. So we have, now with these, I'm going to quickly use my craft knife and deal with just quickly. Since this one has a little rounded corner, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the straight edge, and then I'll go in with my scissors and kind of grab the little rounded edge, because whoops, I can almost guarantee that if I tried to do it with my craft knife, it wouldn't work right. Just take my fussy cutting scissors, I'll poke them through here, and I'll just get the little rounded edges. I think I went a little too far with that one. There's that one, and then we'll do these two really quick. And you can do this with your paper trimmer too. Does anybody have any plans for spring break? For those of you that have kids, and they're off for what? Off school for a week. I remember when I was in school and my kids were in school, they could barely wait to have a break for spring break. We usually ended up traveling somewhere for soccer 9 times out of 10, but it was still a trip. They also were doing track in the spring, and so they had, when they were in high school, they had track practice even when school was out. It's funny, you know, you're so busy when your kids are little, you're running around, and you know, when your kids are really, really little, it seems like you never leave the house. And then when they get a little older, it seems like you can never find your way back home. You're always gone. And then when all of it's said and done and they're off living their own lives, and you kind of miss it. I guess that's when grandbabies come in. Although we don't have any yet. Nobody's married quite yet. Okay, so here's this. That one. This one I've already cut. That one's already cut. This one's cut. I think that one's done as well. All right. Okay, so I'm going to quickly clean this up just a little bit. Made a huge mess. All right, now I'm going to, the other thing that we need to cut is the it's this guy. And this is the togetherness paper. On the reverse side, there's a little tiny floral. But it's so, I loved this paper, and I loved because all of the shapes are really easy to cut. And so you get a bunch of tags and labels, but and you have to fussy cut them, which is, you know, not everybody's cup of tea, but you don't waste an embellishment that has something that you can easily cut on your own. So you have to let me know whether you liked that. Okay, so now I'm going to quickly add some foam behind this. I need little foam squares. This one. Anybody's wondering where I get my fun foam, I get it from Amazon, and I like it because it has adhesive on one side, so it makes it a lot faster to use. And it's great if you do like shaker cards, because you have, you know, one piece of foam that seals your shaker card, which is nice. These. Here. These could have been a little thicker, I think, but it's all right. Okay. Here's this guy. Might need another little pieces. Alrighty. There's one. Here's another little oval guy. Clearly I can't cut straight when I was, or I didn't. Okay, a little bit more. There's that one. And then got this guy. And there we go. One and one more. One more little piece. All right. Okay, so now I need a sheet of where did I put it all? All right, so now I've cut this down slightly. I'm going to get to the fun stuff. Okay, so this. All right. Move this out of the way, and then toss these little scraps. Okay, so now we need to kind of situate our frames. And I need to quickly back mine, so let me do that really quick. I have some paper already cut. One. Where are my scissors? One. There's that guy. So these, and then pencil, pencil, pencil. And this guy. This one. This guy. Okay, so I'll add some adhesive here. And then oh, who's listening to Hail Mary? Somebody was just talking. I've lost a little bit of the chat, I guess, here. On Alicia, I haven't seen you in forever. So nice you're here. I'm so horrible at keeping up with the chat while I do this. I've got my head down all the time. And then all of a sudden I look up and there are people chatting or leaving and having to say goodbye, and I miss all of that, so sorry. Okay, so here's this. Okay, I'm just going to add this to the back. Just want to make sure that it's covered. And this one, my glue, the tip on my glue is so gummed up. Right. There we go. Put that one. And then this guy. I wouldn't have backed them, except we're going to have them overlap, so it would look really wonky if I didn't. This guy needs this little corner trimmed. And then this one, now just pop him, hopefully. I cut him a little slim, so let's see if he, there's glue everywhere. Okay. All right. The other thing that we need to do is we need to pull out our let's see, our borders, and they are where did I put mine? Need for this guy. I believe that I used the plaid on this. I think these are our fabric die cut stickers, border stickers, and I have this somewhat straight. Doesn't have to be perfect, and it's not. I'm just going to quickly trim off the edges here. Takes out. aside. All right, so now we're going to start laying down the frames the way we want them on our page. So here's our, I need our project sheet, so hang on 1 second. Let me, okay. All right, so we're going to first lay our frames out onto our white cardstock. And this is still looking, okay, you know what? Come on, you don't have to, yep. I gotta fix it. Or maybe I can't. Yep, you can't. All right, it's gonna be how it is. All right, so there's that. We're going to put our blue frame about right here. And some of these, if there is a little bit of foam where they're going to overlap, I'm going to remove that with my scissors. So that. So there's that. So you can sit about right there. This guy needs. So there, it's going to be about right there. This guy be about right there. And then this guy, I'm going to put, where's my phone? Put some foam in the center here. So we just kind of want to make sure that we've got which one did I think? Okay, there's that. This guy is going to be about right here. And then we're going to take our little square guy, put him here, and then this one will drop down this way. So all of the frames are going to be kind of running vertically down the center of our page. So we're going to go ahead and use my tape for most of them, and then I'll add some liquid when. Do you know that Karen Benson would be so proud of me that I haven't even used my T-square ruler once? And I always use my T-square ruler. So this guy is going to go about right there, maybe. This one. It's perfect to me, but that's all right. trim this off because it's popping underneath my frame and I don't want it to do that. Okay. So there's that. Right there. Stick this in a little bit. All right, so those there. And then this guy, put a little bit of adhesive in the center. It's crooked to me, but that's all right. This guy, I'm going to sorry, Karen. Where is my... All right, well, oh, here it is. Gotta do it. It'll make me crazy. Okay, so this one is square. And then this is the one that was being kind of wonky. All right. Let's make sure that this is straight. Go. And then this guy can go now underneath. I can there. Much better. Okay. So now we're going to slip this one under here, but I'm going to cut this corner off so that I can place it properly. Okay. And then this one is going to go right here, and we're going to have that little loop butt up right next to the waffle frame. This guy, just need him to slip under there a little bit better. So So there we go. So there is the base of our page. And now what we need to do is we just need to pull out some leaves, and I think it listed some fussy cut leaves too, but I'm just going to grab some leaves, some die cut leaves. You can grab whichever you want. We need to make sure that we've got some teal. So I want to do kind of tone on tone. So the blue frame or the mint frame is going to have mint colored leaves. The orange frame is going to have orange and red leaves. And then the pink one is going to have pink and magenta and then gold up at the top. So that's kind of the color. We're going to kind of do a tone on tone look with this one, and so we want to grab leaves to kind of fit within those. Colors. Okay, so this one would work. This one there. This guy would work there. Let's see. A red one would work there. Yellow. This guy up here. And then let's see here. This one. Let's see what else I've got up towards the top. I can do this little blue one. And okay, and let's see here. To have like a darker orange. There we go. So there, that works. And this guy. And then we'll do some variety of different. This guy is good. I like the difference, the different colors of pink in the leaf there, as opposed to just black veining in the leaves. And then let's see what else. Pink. So that guy. Dot. Oh, no, I think this one. I like that better. Okay. There's that. And then we'll go ahead and color our leaves. I just wanted to make sure that I pulled some of these out ahead of time. We might add a few more afterwards, but this kind of gives us a basis for our page. And now what we need to do is we need to pull out our chipboard pieces. And I had this one. Okay, so we need our title, which is Chili. I'm just gonna There's so many in this pack. These are one of my favorite products. We've had them multiple times in our kits. And so here's Chilly Days. This is our title. And it's going to fit just in here. And then we need to grab some leaves that we're going to color. And I'm going to pull these titles out. But there's a bunch of them. Favorite. Hello. Thankful. Costumes. Favorite friends. Pumpkins. Family. Happy. So you could use whichever title you want to for this. There's Happy Heart. Hello. Hello Fall. Thankful. Favorite pumpkins. Favorite costumes. Friends. Favorite things, I think is the favorite things. Costumes, pumpkins. And I think that there's an ampersand in here somewhere, but okay. But those are not ones that we're using. So we are going to grab and pull some of these out. So I want this little grid one. We'll use him up here. And then we'll use this guy maybe up here. We've got a little, that guy there. The stripe one over here. There's a grid right there. There's a big dot one right there. And let's see if I have any others. Let's see which one. I think I used that one. Okay. So what we need to do now is we need to grab some, either you can grab watercolors, you can grab ink pads, whatever you have on hand. It just needs to be water-based. If you've got mists, that will work too. And you'll need a paintbrush and some paper towels and a little bit of water. I'm going to go fill this cup up really quick. Tater, have you been keeping people occupied? All right, so I'm gonna scoot this off just slightly. And what we're gonna do, I've got some water and I am going to use a little bit of my Lindy's. And I want to use a palette because I don't want to don't want to mess up stuff that doesn't want to be messed up. Okay. This had paint in it from before. I think it was last week. Sometimes I hang on to it, thinking maybe I'm going to use it again, but 9 times out of 10, that's not the case. All right. So if you have like a paper plate, if you have a glass mat, if you have a piece of packaging, a stamp block, anything like that will work as a palette for you. All right, so I'm going to grab some colors here. Whoops. Let's see. This one. Let's see. Might try this one. And then let's see here. I need a little bit more yellow. I can put some of that in there. And do I have as far as this one is trying to look at the color, but I can't read it. That one might work too. Let's see what I got here. Let's see. The autumn crimson maple. Mania might work. Mini bikini and maybe hibiscus rose and try this. Okay, we'll figure out something that will make all the colors that we need. Okay, so I need my little scoopy thing. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we'll do our title first, and I find it best to set these, pop out the centers of course, and then I like to sit them on top of a paper towel when I do this, and that keeps like all of the liquid from soaking up into the chipboard. So let me grab a paper towel. I'm going to kind of push that a little bit off because I don't want. So these are going to go here, and what I want to do is I want to do kind of an ombre, and I want to go from like a pinky red to an orange and yellow. So we'll start at the top. Let's start with the hibiscus rose because I think we might be able to do that, and if we need to, we can mix in a little bit of the. And a little bit of this stuff goes a very long way. So you don't need a lot of color. Let's do this one too. Literally very little. If you use too much, you get like really deep colors, and then oh my goodness, no I don't. Okay, this one goes see. This is what you don't want to have happen, because if it accidentally gets wet and it gets on your clothes, you're going to ruin your clothes. Or you're going to get pigment where you don't want it. So let's just brush that away. Okay, so now I'm going to take a, typically I'll put water in a spray bottle, but sometimes it blows the pigment powder, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to add, now let's do a little bit of yellow too for this one. This has like a little shaker top, so it makes it a little easier to but these have shimmer in them too, which is really pretty. We did a mixed media class a couple weeks back, and it was a lot of fun, and we used a lot of the Lindy's in it. And we're going to add to that, now this one is called Mango Mania, and this is more of an orange. So a little bit of orange here. Be pretty. And then let's do some, this one's called Dipito Teal. This one's really shimmery and pretty. So we'll put that one there. And then I think it's the only ones. I might do this one. Well, let's see. We'll see. All right. So what we want to do is we want to mix them really well. And as you can see, you get a lot of color with very little paint. Okay. Let's mix this one. And orange. Teal. Okay. Alrighty. So what we'll do is I'm going to start at the top. I kind of want to mix a little of this with the pink to make more of a berry. Okay, perfect. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to apply the liquid. Oh, I'm not even doing it on camera. Let's do this. Pull this to the side, and then we'll So here we go. Do the same thing here. Start at the top. And we're going to try and get that kind of a berry I'm not going to clean it up quite yet. So now I'm going to take some of this orange and run it kind of through the center part here. I'll do that down here as well. And this kind of blends the colors a little bit. Okay, and then we'll go in with the yellow. This just kind of makes that, gives you that graduation in color. But these are like, love these. One of my favorite products that we've ever done. And then I want, with this top one, I want to add just a little bit more pink at the top. Same here, we'll do a little more pink, and then we'll add just a tad of orange. Kind of here as well. We'll do this. Okay, so now what we'll do is we're going to just take our paper towel and gently place it over the top. And you're going to see some of that color. Okay, so we're a little bit pinky at the top, so I'm going to do a little bit more of this crimson color. And then mix some of the pink, because I want it to look a little more fallish than. Okay. Do the same thing with this one. This one, and then we'll do some of this down here towards the bottom. Is this plugged in? No, it is not. 1 second, I need to plug in my heat gun just for the sake of time. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slightly wet my paper towel. I'm just going to go over it very gently, and it's going to remove the pigment where the dots are, or where your pattern is. So you'll be able to see the detail. So here, you can kind of see what it looks like. So I need to be able to, so, but it's really, and you've got a little bit of shimmer with that color. So same thing, we're going to do the same thing with the chevrons also. Just kind of go in with, and that one thing with this one is that the color is just a little sunny. And I want to see if we can, this one might, let's see. Dip my brush in this. Let's add just a little more yellow. To that. I think I'm very, very orange though. I'm trying to find that middle ground. And then we'll just add. Okay. All right, let's do this. I think we need more yellow. Oops. That's going to be really yellow. Which is fine, I guess. Okay. Okay, so let's that looks lovely. So let's just wipe off the chevron a little bit. You just need to be a little, do this very gently so that you don't damage your chipboard. All right, so there we go. And I'm just going to add just a little bit more of this yellowy gold to the bottom of this one, just to so that it has just a little bit more pigment to it. And then we'll get on with the leaves, because they're just all going to be a single color. And then let's just go ahead and grab a little bit more of this pink. I'm going to pop it in kind of right in here. Perfect. This is dry all the way. You just want to make sure that it's dry before you start wiping it, because otherwise you'll just pull the color right off of your. There we go. Okay, very cute. All right, so there's our title, Chilly Days. And now grab a clean paper towel and let's get to work on the leaves. So first, let's do the blue ones. So pull the two blue leaves and we'll put them on our paper towel. Okay, nice and clean brush. And this is kind of what the color is going to look like. Perfect, perfect. Okay. And we'll do this one too. Sometimes I do like 2 layers of color to get it saturated. And I've done this without the paper towel before, but what happens is it sits in a puddle of color and then it ends up soaking it up through the back. And then the edges kind of get this color. So paper towel is your friend. this quickly and then we'll wipe it off. Make sure that this is all dry before I start wiping it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a little bit of water. Wipe all. Very pretty, very pretty. Okay, there's that. So the teal ones are done. Now let's do the orangey ones. I think there's actually just, is there just one? There should be two here. What did I do with it? So these are going to go over here. Must have misplaced one. This over. These are going to be like an orangey red. So let's kind of mix this with a little bit of this. Put a little yellow in there too. Okay. So this is going to be kind of an orangey red-ish. There we go. Orangey red-ish. Just a little bit of pink in here, just to there we go. Okay, so I'm going to just dab up some of the. Okay, now let's quickly dry these. So pretty. All right, try this, and then we should be good to go. So pretty. Okay, so let's wipe these just a bit. Okay, there's one. And two. So there's those. Now we need to do the pink. I need a paper towel, and I'm going to add a little bit more of this. I think I have the right one there. Unless I mixed them up. I could have. Got it just right. Okay, so now we need these two, and put our little paper towel there, put our little leaves there, got some okay. I think I have the colors mixed up. So I think this is the rose, and then this one must be okay. I mixed up my lids, I think. Let's wipe these and see where we're at, and if we want them to be a little more pinky. Oh, nope, they're good, just the way they are, I think. And then this one. All right, and we have one more that we need to make gold. Okay, so now did I mix these up again? So this one goes here, and then this one goes here. Okay, so now we have this guy. I'm going to use a different color. I'm just going to mix it here on my doing that. I'm going to add just a little bit of, okay, there we go. Just a little bit of, there we go. Okay. Now we'll dry this guy, and we should be good to go. Just a little more. Color to it. Go. Okay, one more. All right, so now just a little paper towel. We're going to wet it just a bit, and then we're going to glue everything down. We will, okay, so pretty. All right. Okay. So there's that. Let's clean up. Just want to make sure that I wipe everything down. Get this out of the way. Get this out of the way. Okay. So let's pull our page back up here. And we'll start to glue everything back together. Move these off to the side, put this up here, put that over there. Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of set our title in here. It's just going to kind of sit like right there. So I'm going to take some adhesive, put it on the bottom here, and let's glue this part down first. Okay, let's see. Okay. And let's put this one. Okay. And this one kind of can sit, kind of move that around. There's glue all over the place, but it will dry clear. So I'm not too concerned about it. So let that sit there. Now let's take our two like goldy orangey leaves. And I'm going to put those on the bottom here. We're going to kind of layer things a bit. And then this one, I'm going to kind of bend along the veining of each one of the leaves. And it's just going to give it a little bit more texture. Okay. So this guy, I'm going to put kind of up here. And then this one we'll put down toward here. And I'm not making the stems go entirely under because I'm going to layer with these. Oops. That one just a bit. So these guys are the ones that I want to take the stems off, and I think I'm going to cut into the leaf itself so that I can tuck it underneath the frame a little further. Yeah, just like that. And I'm just going to glue it here in the center. And then this guy, just kind of fold along the center, and I'm going to trim his little stem down just a little bit. Honestly, I think I'm going to cut the end off of him also because and then this one, we'll do the same. We'll bend through the center. I'm going to cut the bottom off. And then I'm just going to apply a little bit of glue in the center of the leaf. And, oops, don't want it to go there. Let's see here. So that just kind of adds a little bit. All right, so that's where those go. And then let's do the blue ones at the top. We've got this one here, and this guy here. And then bend these just on the center where the stem is, center where the stem is, and we'll go ahead and put trim one. So I can put him there. And then this guy, I'm going to kind of set out here maybe, because this one, oops, put right in there. And then we'll put the little, this guy in the center. Give it some more. I'm going to pull this guy a little further out. That's all right. Okay. All right, so now we've got pink leaves. We'll put those over here. And put some adhesive. Honestly, the most time-consuming part about this page was the coloring of the leaves. So we'll put this guy about there, and then we're going to put this guy. I think I'm going to cut his stem off so that he can kind of sit back a little further. So pretty. Okay, and then we're going to just pop this guy here. I'm going to cut his stem off, put the adhesive down the center, and I'm going to turn him just a bit. Okay, and then we've got our big gold leaf that goes on the top, and see how pretty this looks, because it's all tone on tone. So I think this one is going to kind of sit right there. We'll go ahead and finish this up. I'm going to cut the stem off here. And I'm going to put him about right here, I think. I want him to slip further in. So and then this guy, again, bend the leaves just a tad, adhesive in the center, and get rid of his little stem. Pop him and right okay. All right, so now we add the finishing touches. And honestly, you could leave it just as it is, but we've got a few bits and pieces. So this is all step 1 and 2. Oh, you know what? There was one other little pink leaf that I needed. Tates, stop eating my stuff. Let's see. Find one. This will work. is a fussy cut leaf, but I'm not doing that. So we'll just use this one from the die cut pack. And just gonna pop him and stick him right underneath here. Okay. All right, so now we need to just add all of our little finishing bits and pieces. So we've got the family and friends. Goes about right here. I'm not going to stick him down too hard yet because I think I might need to move him slightly. But and then this one, I'm going to kind of situate right kind of here. Okay. And then there's a little orange and pink mushroom. We'll put it right there. And then this guy is going to be sitting about right, drop him about right there. And then I should have some little leaves in here. I can pull it out. So we're going to grab this guy, put him in. I think I like him right there. And then the little pink teapot is going to sit here. Tates, you're done. Get down. Teapot. Okay. And then where the orange stuff is, we've got another little teapot here. And we're going to sit that right about here. Let's see. So there's that. And then do I have... Here's a little pop him in about right here. And then this guy is going to kind of swing around underneath. Okay, there we go. And then take this other little piece of yellow wine and we'll pop him right over there. And then let's see. I think there's a little this guy, we're going to tuck in, I'll lift him up just a little bit because I'm going to tuck this guy about right there. Okay, there's that guy. And then for the blue, we've got, let's see, a little blue teacup. And where's our little owl? Owl. The owl is going to sit right here. And then the teacup's going to go about right there. And we should have another little bluey green. Okay, so put him kind of so put that there, and then we've got, let's see, I think there is in our die cuts, I believe that there's just a little, maybe it's on the puffy stickers, could it be? I think that there was supposed to be a little, there must be. If not, I'm going to change something into it. There we go. Voila, found it. And then we're just going to add this little flag banner, and he's going to tuck up underneath the owl. Under the owl. All thumbs under the owl here, and then the little there we go. Voila! All 3 pages. We did it. Took longer than probably you were all expecting, but I wanted to make sure that we got it all done tonight, because next week we are going to do the November kits. So let's kind of pull everything back together and take a peek at what we did. I think that they all turned out really, really, really cute. Okay,